morning, everyone. Welcome back to Regina's World. This is an impromptu video because I wasn't planning on doing one, but it's getting closer and closer to July, and I haven't filled up my month yet. So I said I need to do some videos. So I wasn't quite. I was bouncing back and forth to this one and another one. The other one I have to put clothes on and stuff. I'm in my bed chilling. I just didn't want to. So I just wanted to just talk this morning. So this video is pretty much about my current relationship. And if it lasts until November 25th, would be our 1 year anniversary, quote unquote, then we would do a sit down. I'll do a sit down with him and introduce Eddie finally to the world. But at this moment, this will be about my relationship, how we met. I ain't gonna go too much because I want to save some information for the sit down. But this would be about the good, the bad, and the ugly of my relationship with him. And it's a lot of good, it's a lot of bad, and it has been a lot of ugly. But so let's talk about it. So if you want to know about my relationship, how it's going with Eddie so far at it'll be 8 months on the 25th of July. It'll be 8 months. So if you want to know in 8 months how this relationship has gone, I'm going to be brutally honest. And I'm going to let you exactly know, I'm going to let you in on what's happening in this relationship. So if you're interested, stick around, watch the video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we're going to get right into this video. I have some keynotes, pros and cons of his personality, right? So don't miss anything. I'm telling you the truth. All right, be right back. Okay, so um, I met Eddie. He used to do FedEx. He don't do FedEx anymore. Now he worked for Cintize. But he was working for FedEx when I met him. And so that was all great, And I thought it was kind of cute. And I wasn't really interested in a relationship at the time because, because I was fresh out of getting out of a separation, trying to get a divorce. So fresh. So I wasn't really interested in a relationship. This was the last thing that was on my mind. I was looking for, somebody to hang out with, somebody to have sex with from time to time, whatever. Because, the people that I know that I would normally have sex with, the two people that I had in rotation, their dick was that they great friends, greatest people. Dick was Dick was little, and then the other one, fine as hell, but his he I think he was too. He's one of those people who watch porn too much that a normal physical person can't turn him on. So, and it's weird, but he have to have porn on in the background in order to get anything going. And so I've only had sex with him, I think, one time in my life. I've been knowing him for about 13 years. I only had sex with him one time in my life because he couldn't get it up. So, I let him eat my pussy from time to time. But I wanted more. But I like him as a person. Like, if that wasn't an issue, I probably would date him. But that's always been an issue. It is what it is. So I needed somebody in rotation that I could actually fuck on when I want to. So Eddie was, I just really just wanted to smash. I let him smash. And it's brutally honest. I'm telling you the truth. So I that weekend was Thanksgiving weekend. So my kids were gone and I just got off work that night. And I remember like yesterday, I was planning on just going home. And then he was like, let me come over, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I just got home from work. I just want to be alone. And he's like, no, your kids are gone. Let me just come over. He eventually wore me down. I let him come over. Let me fix this pillow. Because it'll get on it. That's a little better. But yeah, so I let him come over that night. We drinking, we smoking, we having sex, blah, blah, blah. And then I guess that's when the relationship kind of started because I the next day, it was the next day was Thanksgiving. So I actually had plans with a friend to go to their family house for Thanksgiving, but I didn't even get there because from the moment Eddie met me, Eddie kind of like was like, just kind of, how can I explain this? Like, oh, these pillows. It's just, I think it's this one that's throwing me off. But he kind of like took over since the moment met me. So I kind of that day I kind of because I couldn't get rid of him that specific day. Like I just could not get rid of him. Like he just wouldn't go home. So I was like, what is the problem? Like, why would you go home? So I had to lie. I had to lie to get him to go home because he just wouldn't go home. He wanted to spend every stinking second with me watching not Game of Thrones. What is that thing on Netflix with the from the Chinese game Squid Game, Square Game, whatever it's called. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So he wanted to spend every freaking second with me, smoking, drinking, and watching Netflix. And I was just that wasn't what I wanted to do. So I was just, him he just didn't want to go. So I had to lie and say, I'm finna go home. I'm finna go meet my girl to get him to go. So he finally left way in the evening. I sent him a fake video, like, oh, you like what I got on? Once he was like, yeah, he had fun. I took all them clothes off, hopped back in the bed, and went to sleep. Because was literally up partying and, drinking and whatever all night. So I wasn't really looking at, I wasn't thinking of, oh, this is finna go anywhere. Like, because the conversations we'd had that for that 24 hours, the conversation we had for the 24 hours, there was nothing in that conversation that told me that I wanted to be with him. Like there was nothing. Nah, he let me know that he was a bad guy. He did bad things in his past. I'm not gonna say all the bad stuff he's done, but just know he's done bad things in his past. So he's a street guy. He's trying to change his life now. Blah blah blah. Like he told me a whole bunch of stuff, and I said that day, I don't think I'm the right girl for you because yeah, I just don't think I'm the right person for you. I think the person that you may be looking for, you need to maybe find somebody who's from Detroit and a street girl who still is in the mix with all that kind of stuff. Because I'm not that. I am completely the opposite. And he like, no, you're it. You are who I want. And I was like, you don't even know me. He kept saying, when I was having sex with you, I tapped into your soul. I felt something that I've never felt before while I was having sex with you that night. And I knew you was my girlfriend the moment I stuck my penis inside you. I knew that. I was never not gonna talk to you ever again. I was never, you belonged to me from that moment on. I was like, what are you talking about? And he like, I'm dead ass serious. You're my girlfriend, and that's it. I was like, you do know I'm married, right? He said, I don't give a shit about that. You get a divorce, right? I'm like, yeah. He said, well, continue to get that divorce. At that point, you're my girlfriend. No other man, anybody else can kiss my ass. You're my girlfriend. And I'm like, well, that's not really what I want, but his mind, that's what he wanted. That he felt it deep down in his soul. I mean, every inch of his soul that I was his soulmate. Like from one night, he felt I was his soulmate. So, so the good of Eddie, I would describe the good. Number one, he is very patient because I'm patient, but he's way more patient than I am. And that's a good thing for several reasons. His patience keep him. I think maybe that was maybe a part of his jail mentality, right? So, because he did go to gel in the past. So his patience helps him like be when I'm on my cycle, he can stay focused. He don't like to jack off. I don't know why, but it keeps him like I'm not gonna do this until you're ready to, give me some. If I'm pissed at him, I can hold sex like a motherfucker. And he is patient as hell, like, okay, well withhold it. When you're ready, I'll be here. Like he's very, very patient. Number two, he can cook. I'm a foodie, as you guys know. I am a flat on foodie. I love to eat. I will eat. I'm not a big eater, but to I like fancy food. Like I don't like to cook. If you can cook for me, that's great. I don't like to cook, but my taste buds is expensive. So I like to go eat fine dining. That is my kind of thing. I like to go eat food that you can't cook. So that you see on TV that you got to spend money to eat. Like I like fine dining, and Vegas is a great place to fine dine. So that's how I got my taste buds from. I like to try different restaurants. So there's a restaurant that is on my to-do list, Prime Steakhouse. I'm sure it's going to be expensive, but the food looks fabulous. So I like expensive cuisine that you can't make at home. But he can cook, so that's a good thing. That's number two. Number three, he is very compassionate, empathetic. He's very sweet. He is very warm. Um, he's very charming. Now the charming part, he knows he's charming. He knows he can swindle and get away with a lot of things. He know he how to use his words to get what he wants. He knows how to play on a woman's emotions. So this is a good and a bad thing because he know he's charming. He know he can use that as a weapon on women. So that's a good and a bad thing. But the other part is he's very compassionate. A woman, he give you the last dollar that he have in his pocket. He has big heart. Wears his heart on his sleeve. All that is good. Like when he is really in his in love phase, you know he loves you when he is in his in love phase because he does a lot for you. Like for me, I wake up really early in the morning, so he allows me to sleep. Like he allows like when he spend nights over here, um, I go to sleep early, so I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to be ready on the computer by five o'clock. It sucks. He lets me sleep. I go to sleep early. He don't like that I go to sleep early because he prefer a night, somebody to be up with him all night, watch TV with him all night, smoke with him all night, drink with him all night because he's a night out and I'm not. I'm like, but that's just never who I am, never will be. And then so he I think he got that now. So on my days off, on the weekends, if he's over here, then I will stay up with him as long as I possibly can, like 1, 2 in the morning, drink, watch whatever movie he want to watch, because that's his kind of spending time with him. No matter what you do, you can do the most extravagant stuff with him outside of the home. Like, let's go here, let's go there, which we do all the time. And in his mind, that is not quality time. Quality time to him is sitting down in front of the TV, watching a movie, and with a glass of alcohol in your hand. That's quality time to him. That's boring to me. It takes a lot out of me to sit there and watch a movie. And he'd be like, why do you go to the movies and you can watch a movie, but you can't sit in your own living room and watch a movie? It's different. I'm paying for that. It's an experience to go to the movies. It is hard for me to be in the movies watching the movie because my body after a certain time be ready to get up and walk out. I have to force myself to finish the movie. It's hard to do that in the movies. I said, but in my own home, I'm free to get up and roam or grab my phone if I'm losing interest in the movie or whatever. I'm free to do that. And he hates that because he wants all of your attention at all times. So if I doze off or if I get distracted by a phone and I'm not watching whatever movie that he has on TV, he would get upset. So, but that's his kind of quality time. I'm like, so, but I be trying to compromise with that. So, uh, he thinks about a lot. He thinks, well, he pitches in, which he should. You know, that's not something to give kudos for. But he pitches in on the bills, even though he don't live here. He pitches on the bills, my electric and my internet, which I appreciate like a motherfucker. Um, he um he used to keep food in my house when he had EBT at one point. They canceled his EBT. Now he make too much money, but working at Centines. But when he did have EBT, he made sure my refrigerator was filled. Now I gotta spend cash for EBT. I mean food, which suck. So he went grocery shopping for me the other night. He got off at 9. He came over and he went grocery shopping because he hate that. You know I hate going grocery shopping. So he went grocery shopping for me and filled up my refrigerator, which I appreciate. So he can be very thoughtful. He can be very thoughtful. Um, uh my car is like his responsibility pretty much. Like he keep it clean, he keep it washed, he did the tires last week. Like I don't do shit for that car. Like he does it. I think I may me have him go get the oil change because I ain't had the oil change since I got the car. So maybe it's probably time to go get the oil change or something. So I may have him take him to go get the oil change or whatever. But he takes care of my car for me. Oh, so I mean, he does what he's supposed to do as a man. You know, he does what he's supposed to do. The other best part is, you know, he's a foodie too, so we share a lot of the same taste buds. We share a lot of the same taste of music. We share a lot of the same taste in a lot of things because we both earth signs. So we share a lot of the. It's not hard for me to understand him because he's a Taurus. Like so, we're kind of like the same people. We like the same things. You know, we get along very well in that sense. He's a more talkative person than me, and that's a good thing. Like because I think shifted right because at the beginning of the relationship something had happened because the, I'm gonna get to the negative side of him in a moment. Like, but when I used to talk, he didn't realize he used to do this at the beginning of the relationship. That he used to shut me down and didn't even realize that he used to shut me down because that was his personality. If there's something that he didn't want to hear, he'd be like, "That's stupid" or whatever. He didn't know that was offensive, and then somewhere along in my mental, it shut me off from communicating with him like that. I learned quickly by his personality that there's certain things I cannot tell him because of who he is, how he will react. He will react in a negative way if there's some things you got to tell him. So he cannot take criticism. He cannot he he cannot know your past because if he know your past, he's gonna judge it like a motherfucker. Like, okay, hold on, I'm turning back into the negative, so I'm not there yet. So I get there in a moment. Um, so he's very cleanly. So this is another good thing about it. He's very clean. He's OCD clean, and I'm not OCD clean. So that became a little thing. So he had to loosen the reins with the OCD, like because he was tripping with the OCD. Like I'm like I like clean. I don't need to be like, oh, that's not in the right place. Oh, you need to what? Use this, use that. You know, wipe the walls. I don't need to do all that. My house is clean enough for me. It don't have to be spick and span. But there's certain things I don't like. I don't like dishes in the sink. You know, everything has to be in its order. I don't have to go around and vacuum every day or wipe everything down every day. I do that once a week. It's only me and my son here. Why I got to do all that extra work? I work hard enough. I'm like, I don't got no bugs. My house is clean. Look, but he was OCD, but now he's a little bit more relaxed on that because he was tripping when we first met him. But his cleanliness is good. Uh, what else? I like that he didn't experience a lot. Now this is just my own little personal thing. I like that he didn't experience a lot when as him being out here, because now everything that we do, it's all new to him. Like it's all new to him. So, and he's been out here for 10 years, but he ain't did nothing in 10 years. I'm like, so he's been in relationships, but in his relationships they never did nowhere. They never went nowhere. All they did was fuck and have sex. I mean, drink, have sex, drink, have sex, and fight and argue. That's all he did in his other relationships. And I'm like, what was the fun in the relationship? They didn't have any fun in the relationship. So everything we do is all new to him, and we're experiencing all this stuff together for the first time. And so not only is it fun for me because I'm a very adventurous person, it's fun for him too. So that's always fun. Um and yeah, I think that's it on the good stuff. Now let's get into this bad.